Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media. It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we've got a purpose.
Affirmative.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds, welcome back to the greatest show on earth. Yes, better than a Trump rally. Better than listening to Dr. Fauci, Doctor of Death, the former Mouseketeer, tell us about how many people died today. And don't worry, it's coming back in the fall, but we'll be prepared. Oh, yeah, after the economy's decimated. Greg Anthony here, and I've said a long time ago, these people are driving me crazy with these numbers. Every morning I wake up, now there's more deaths, and they got it right down to the number. Yeah, right down to 371 more people today. How in the hell did they know? You know, I thought I'd bring some of my own numbers to the table today to show you how ridiculous this really is. One little number here. Two little numbers, and then we'll get into some really interesting ones a little later. Before I go any farther, 150,000 people, they estimate, these are the same people, die every day in the world. Now, they tell me that 7,500 die every day in the United States, 863 people for every 100,000. The risk of you dying is there before the COVID virus of many, many things more dangerous than this. Yes. Now, if you take the deaths in America that they report, what is it, up to 3,000 now? And you take the number of days that this thing's been around, so it's about, let's say, 75. So you're talking about 40 a day. That's if you believe them. Now, they can jockey these numbers around any way they want. As Mark Twain once said, lies, oh, these damn lies and statistics. The truth, folks, is difficult to get to in these situations, especially when you have people that don't question anything anymore. Nothing. They take everything that emperors tell you and they run with it. They're sitting at home. I talked to a person this morning. What are you going to do? Wait it out. Don't you want to question whether it is really this dangerous? What are they doing? I mean, I have not heard of one famous person die of this. You would think that there'd at least be one rock star. You'd think there'd be at least one congressman. You'd think there'd be at least one of our world leaders who are our United States leaders. All of them are over 70. You think one of them would go. No. They're all around, they say, oh, you got to stay 6 feet apart. Then watch their news conferences. They're all standing right on top of one another. Did they move the seats in the House of Representatives? Farther apart, are they going to do that? Hell no. They're going to tell you what to do, when to do it. And today we got an order to stay at home till at least April 30th. Are you kidding me? Stay at home till April 30th. Who the hell are they to tell me to stay at home? When the risk of dying was just as great prior to this. If I want to go out and get sick and die, or risk that, I'm going to have to do that just like I did every day of my life. And there's so many, many other things. So you get 150,000 dead every day. And, do we mourn every one of those? No. But my question to you is, how come none of these famous people, rich people, you don't hear any of them. Apparently, they are immune to this. I've not heard Henry Kissinger on a ventilator. He's like 90. If he's still around. Trump's 74. Oh, he's not worried about it. No, hell no. Biden, he's on his last legs too. He's seeing the end of his term here on Earth. And he's fine. None of these rich guys are sick. I have not heard one movie star. Besides, Tom Hanks, he got a little cold. Well, his son said he wasn't even sick. But stay at home. Don't worry about it. Everyone's going to get it. If everyone's going to get it, then why in the hell do you stay at home if everybody has it? I mean, everybody can get the flu. Think back when you were last sick. I mean, everybody at least once in their life got the flu or a bad case of it. Man, it was pretty bad. but you survived. But this is like they're bringing in Navy ships. The companies are all making masks. And today I hear the Surgeon General. Why do they give him a name like he's a general? This doesn't sound right, the Surgeon General. All right. He says, well, listen, it hasn't been proven that masks really protect you. He's talking about the average citizen. But if you want to wear them and you feel safer, go right ahead. All right, everybody put their mask on. How long? And then they said, are we always going to have to wear masks? Boy, I'll tell you, we have a population of people that do not question anything anymore. And the reason why is that Jesuitical education has been rammed down the heads of children when they can't even understand what's going on. And then they grow up not questioning and listening to Big Brother tell you exactly what to do. What if I told you today, all the statistics in the world say that it's okay for you to go out and work. It's okay for you to go out and play. You'd say, oh my God, put him away. He is a health hazard. He will be arrested for saying such things in the face of this tragedy. You know something? There's been a tragedy going on for hundreds of years in this country, and we're not even aware of it. But we somehow allowed ourselves to get up and do it because maybe we shouldn't listen to every word these people say as gospel truth. Maybe we should question it and maybe come up with your own ideas. Now, mine may be extreme, as some people say, but I think their reaction to this has been extreme. So let's take two extremes. I say that they are manufacturing these numbers. And I say there's a lot of evidence to doing that. Okay, we're going to get to that in just a second. But to get through this, many people come to my show to get through these days of boredom as we sit at home. All we hear is this and that on the news. Turn it on. You're going to get our mayor in New York on every day. Then you get Trump. And everyone is glued to the TV. How many died today, Martha? Oh, they're up about 21. Okay, how come nobody in Congress has got it really serious? How come they're giving out trillions of dollars? Socialism, folks, it's coming to your doorstep. They're controlling your movements. They're controlling how much money you're going to get. Now, some guy came out and was on the news that he estimates that this will result in 37 million lost jobs and a 32% unemployment rate. If nobody goes to work anymore, or if you take Ocasio-Cortez's idea, well, just stay at home and we'll give you money. You don't need to work. What the hell is that? People like doing things, Well, here's what you can do today. The military, like I said, has come to your rescue, and they are airdropping toilet paper, I heard today, in the Ozark Mountains. To all the people in Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, and whatever, you can go out and you'll see your military dropping you toilet paper. And I've asked them in an email to please drop some hand, the kitchen towels that you use, the towels. I go in there. Well, here in Mexico, everybody has them. There's no shortage here. They tell you when you go in, don't take more than 4 packages. Okay. So, what about the crisis actors? We went through this the other day. Isn't it crazy? How many people have you really seen? They show you the same pictures of the hazmat suits. Then I thought about this. The hazmat suits. Are all these people really dressed that way? So I made a couple calls to hospital emergency rooms, and I said, could I come over and video what's going on? Oh, no, it's too dangerous to come in. And then I talked to a few doctors, and they said, well, our emergency rooms are really like 40 to 50% down in people coming in. We're not really busy. So where's the crisis? Why are they bringing the Navy ships in? And is this really what they tell us? And then they show the crisis actors. Now people say, well, how do you know that? Well, they've done it in the past, and couldn't they do it now? And in fact, they asked me to be one. Remember I told you this story? the other day about, they want me to be a crisis actor, and I said, okay, because I have SAG experience. I'm a SAG actor, and I gave them my rendition of what I did. I got an email back saying, if you cut out the Mother Mary part at the end of a miraculous healing, then perhaps we can do this. Because I've heard a couple of these stories coming out where a couple of these people are saying, I was so sick, and then miraculously I used this, and I'm better. Well, that could happen with any illness. And I think today I got to get to this article. I got to part of it yesterday, but I get so wrapped up here trying to get everybody through it. I was thinking today, and the reason I thought about this is on Fox, they brought on Vince Scully to give his idea of what's going on. And Vince was the great broadcaster in baseball. I love listening to his baseball broadcasts. But he was falling in lockstep with this as well, so I won't get into it. But then I started thinking, what about baseball? Well, my solution is I'm going to a YouTube to watch every day the Cubs win the World Series. Yes, going back to 2016 when they won the World Series, and I'm replaying that every day. Groundhog Day over and over again. The Cubs won the World Series today. They won it once in 100 years, but now during this crisis, to me, they've won it like so far 30 times. Every day I watch it. And I know everything. But I do know one thing. They would not abide by the social distancing rule. So how are you going to play baseball under the new rules of life? Well, I came up with an idea. First of all, we changed the uniforms. They're no longer the nice cotton or whatever they wear with nice little hats and nice socky socks and everything. We got to beef it up. So we got extreme hazmat bioprotective uniforms, which cover every bit of their body. And then we've got to figure out a way to cut down on the size of the gloves because they won't be able to fit it into the baseball glove. So we're working on that. So you got a biohazard suit. Of course, we could put their name on it. Chicago Cubs, New York Yankees. And we can put a little, they always wear something on the side of their arm. We'll put, stay 6 feet away. Okay. So now we got to figure out the head. They wear these hats. It's not safe anymore. Well, we can get them. Masks won't work either. It's too dusty out there. So we got to have a protective helmet. So we got to scale it down a little bit, and it's going to cover their whole head. And basically enough so that they can fit their helmets on. Well, will they need a helmet? We can actually build a helmet within the biohazardous, headpiece for the baseball players. And so we've solved that. Now, what about, let's start at home plate. Okay, how is the umpire going to stay 6 feet away from the catcher? Well, the catcher, he's close to the batter. So we got to change the whole thing. The catcher's got to get 6 feet away, okay, which changes what the pitcher can do. He's got to, this is going to change the whole game. Then the umpire has got to go 6 feet away from the catcher, and we're going to have problems, but we can, there we go. We got a 6 feet rule. That's going to change a lot, maybe a little bit in the game, but, those are the things we have to do because of this crazy, you're going to die before the 9th inning if we don't do this. Then when you get to first base, the umpire's too close, move him away. The calls are going to be terrible. Nobody's going to see anything. When you have a double play, or a runner coming, you got to head for the hills. The outfielders are the safest. They're 100 feet away. They're not going to catch anything. So I suggest that if we play baseball under these rules, it'll really cut down on the number of players that will catch the coronavirus. The infielders, the catchers most at risk. The infielders, of course, are second, and then the outfielders. All right. But let's say we don't do any of it. I haven't heard of one baseball player, a couple said, they got it, they got a little cold. I think that if we played the game right now and we loaded up the stands just like it was opening day in April, nothing would change. Nobody, you can have a beer, you could do what you want, and the same amount of people are going to get the same amount of flu. You're going to get a cough. Some people are going to die of a heart attack. I mean, the same thing happens. My feeling is if we didn't do anything. And so that leads me to believe that something is up in Denmark here. Something is not right. Okay, something isn't right. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to get to an article that I've picked up, and I got this idea from Nicholas over at the radio station, who sent me a clip of, this was a few days ago, and I haven't gotten a chance to get around to it. There's so much going on, and I've got some really mischievous ways to get yourself through the COVID-19 virus. Whew. I almost, when I said the word virus, I almost flipped out. I mean, we don't even know what it is. I've heard they don't even know how to isolate these things. Now, I'm not a doctor, but, I don't really, even if you are a doctor and I'm sick, I'm going to get a couple of opinions if you tell me I'm dying of prostate cancer, okay, for example. However, if now, when people get this COVID-19 test, which they've come up in, the speed of light, they can't cure the cold. They haven't come up with a test for influenza B that supposedly killed 12 to 30,000 people from October to February, but that wasn't important. It's COVID virus, right? Because they got to close down the world so they can get their one world order, one world religion into place. And everybody goes, okay, we'll stay at home, no problem, we'll wait it out. Questioning people. Now you want, I was never a fan. I told you, after all the things I've said over the years, I still like people. But not, all the time. Maybe I can take them for a minute or two. But anyway, this is crazy because nobody questions these things anymore. Nobody questions anything. That's why they can get away with all of this. So I get this article, and it was based on a video that Nicholas from the radio station sent me that said that Mike Pompeo, I watched it, it's a very short clip. He goes, this was a live exercise, and then Trump goes, why didn't you tell us, under his breath? You can hear that. And so that spread a lot of stories about, really, is this thing staged and planned? And I have to say there's a lot of evidence out there that says it is. So I want to get to that. And perhaps I'll do that. I've got 5 minutes here. What would you rather do? Talk serious right now about this? Or let me give you some mischievous ways to get through the COVID virus. How about this? I did this the other day, and it really worked. And if you really want to go out and, you're in a big city now and you start saying, my goodness, there's too many people around. I wish I was living in the country. Well, I got an idea for you. If you see a couple people walking towards you, pretend you know them and they're your long-lost friends, and start running up to them with your arms extended, going, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in years. Come here, let me give you a big hug. And before you can get 6 feet away, they're running, the whole neighborhood is cleared out. You've got the whole street to yourself. That's one thing. Another thing you can do, I haven't tried this yet, but I bet you it would work, is why don't you put a sign on your car that says, I have the COVID virus. I'm serious. I should be at home, but I can't stay at home. I'm going crazy. And then speed by your local police station when all the cops are outside, going 90, and I bet you they not one chases you. They go, I'm not going after that guy. Forget it. I'm not even going after any criminals now. They may have it. So the criminals are really allowed to do whatever they want nowadays. So that's another one. Since, it's okay in certain sanctuary cities now to steal anything under, $900, or I don't know, there's a figure that they're not prosecuting people for stealing small items. Now, years ago in California, they used to put them in jail for life. The California 3 strikes law. Now, all of a sudden, they changed that. So we got people sitting in jail for stealing a candy bar and then a couple drug offenses for life. But now you can just go into a San Francisco store, steal what you want, and they'll say, well, we're not prosecuting because he needs food. Well, take it a step farther. Go into a 7-Eleven with a COVID virus shirt on. I've got the COVID virus. That's another thing that's going to be going around. How about a T-shirt? I've got the COVID virus, and I don't give a shit. Okay. And I really don't, because I don't have any toilet paper. Where did that come from? Oh, God. So anyway, go in there with that sign or your shirt on, and hell, just tell the they're going to run. The guy at the cash register, he's gone. The store's to yourself for at least 10 minutes. And take what you want. Now, somebody's going to say, oh my goodness, he is inciting a riot. Well, can you tell the difference between getting through this and going insane? You can say anything now. Oh, the world's flat. Oh, but Greg's crazy. He's been sitting at home for months, and this is what happens when you get cabin fever. They start saying the craziest things. But sometimes, folks, the craziest things are true. Because guess what? Oh, what's the famous quote I love about truth? Well, we'll do it the next half hour because I'm crazy and can't think about it. But anyway, why don't you open up a store? It's a good time to open up a shop, right? You can't be open, but you can try to open it. But open one that says only with people that have COVID-19 can come in. Because if you have it and I have it, what are you worried about? So, what are they going to do then? They're not going to come in. So how are they going to shut you down? There are certain stores in certain locations in the United States that if they don't open their doors, the powers that be are going to shut off their electric. Or there's a fine. For example, if you have it, how do you know you have it? If the test isn't reliable. And how did they come up with this test so quickly? They can now tell you in 10 minutes if you have it or not. Why don't you just say you got it? Forget about the testing. Everybody has it. Everybody stay home till the emperor tells you can go to work. What if I told you right now? The Supreme Jesuit Command informed me that you can go to work tomorrow morning. How many people will go? Nobody. But if President Trump got up and said, oh, okay, guys, everybody go back to work. Go back and play. Open the stores. Everybody do it. And the same thing would happen. But they're into their real control freak thing now. It's got to go on. They say, well, maybe until the 30th of April, but it could be longer. Okay, it could be longer. And then the mainstream media, both CNN and Fox, all are in line with the government-controlled media's message to you, and everybody listens to it. But you know what? Who cares? Because I'm not listening, and I'm walking outside anytime I choose. There's nothing to do, That's the problem. So why go out, And people say, well, Greg, you're a hypocrite. You were a recluse before this. I said, yeah, but, I enjoy watching other people do things. I'm a third party, disinterested party, but I enjoy watching the world go about its daily activities. And I'm deprived of that now. I can't watch anything. So somebody said, well, go out. If you're such a dissident, go out. I said, well, where is there to go? Somebody said, well, you can go to In-N-Out. I said, yeah, okay. That's good. They have drive-through. So then I went to a restaurant, because I'm in Mexico for a little while, because I can't cross the border unless I do it legally or illegally, right? I can't get back. So I got a house here, house there. I don't want to stay. At least here you can go to your local taco shop still. And I'll talk about that in a minute. All out of time. We could go on for days here, and we're going to have to. Back in 3 minutes on the Investigatore Giornale.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app. for all of your mobile devices. Streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The following program is labeled dangerous and off limits by the Supreme Jesuit command. But stand tall, people. Listen up, and you may just learn something.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening.
Okay, folks, the Supreme Jesuit Command with lead actor Donald John Trump has just announced you can go out and play. Well, you're going to have to wait till April 30th, so stay at home. But anyway, you know something, Greg Anthony here on the Investigatore Giornale, and let me tell you this. Wow. I cannot believe I cannot do anything serious. Every time I say this, I say, okay, let me get to a serious point here. My mind just goes crazy, and I want to just get away from this. You know, it is March 31st, 2020. Well, yeah. Mark it. I got, marks on my wall, from the days we started staying home, just like you do in a prison cell. That's what I hear people do. And I can't do anything serious. I really can't. I try. But how come nobody in Russia has this? I'm Polish. I'm close to Russia. I guess there's some cases there. But there's some countries, China seems to be doing much better than us. And they have 27 billion people in the country. We're not as big as China, but we are the ones that got the most cases. Because we are the ones they want to take down to get their new world order. And you think these people that are helping you are really not your enemy? But I told you, before, you've got to really start using the time you're at home for really understanding what the hell you're under. This is really an amazing story. Now, everyone has a job, right? I know you have a job, I have a job, we all do different things, and probably wonder, well, Greg, you probably can't make a living talking like this. If you just shut up and follow the government line, you'd probably be making millions just like Tucker Carlson or Hannity or one of those other people. I don't know, though. They're much better. I've got to get my teeth fixed first before I do that. I got to get a wig. I got to dress up every day. No, thanks. I can sit here, dress the way I want. I don't have to fix my teeth. How can you fix your teeth anyway now? There's no dentists open for business. So a guy's going to die of an abscessed tooth, but that's okay. It's because of the COVID virus. You see, they got you by the, what? Everything is the COVID virus now. I died of a heart attack because I couldn't get medical care. Well, it's the COVID virus. Mark it down. And if you go to my article on Greg Anthony's journal.wordpress.com, you are going to get a story. I tried to write down everything that I've been talking about for a month on this stuff to kind of precisely put it down without getting off on a tangent because I'm going crazy from cabin fever here. And I can't do anything serious. I start saying, Greg, do the serious article about Mike Pompeo, and I forget about it. Greg, will you read your article? And I can't. I don't know if you're getting crazy like me. I'm writing down the days, and I'm thinking, what was my job? What did I do before this? It's been so long. I've been a crisis actor. I was in movies. Oh, my goodness. They didn't want my script because of the Mother Mary. I'll go over that in a minute. Very important stuff. But anyway, what about Russia? I don't hear much. But I've had some really success with my ads. UseToiletPaper.com's been with me. Cartel Tijuana Airlines, offering free flights for all Americans who can't get to Europe. All you got to do is go through the tunnel between, their tunnel that they can still cross the border in. I asked if I could go, and they said, no, we're not letting anybody in that can't prove they don't have the COVID virus. I said, what are you talking about? This thing has been a windfall for these drug cartels and all illegal business in America. Have the money laundering operations stopped? Let me explain that for a minute. So they shut down the borders, but it's still open for essentials, right? What's essential? Well, the drug cartels. They can still get through. They have ways of getting through anything. So they're operating at normal pace, and probably even more, because people are going to go so crazy, they're going to end up getting on heroin just because of this thing, and then they'll be said, well, when they die of opioid or heroin now, it'll be COVID virus. We don't talk about all the deaths that it caused from these that's not even talked about anymore. Nobody dies from anything else but this. So we have closed borders, but the drug cartels are cleaning up, and so are the politicians, who follow the Bill Clinton formula of making money off of this. And then the money laundering banks are still operating, and the Vatican Bank is still pulling in 15% for all this drug money that comes through there, and they wash it clean, and whatever goes somewhere. That's moving, but 32% of Americans are going to be out of work. Boy, drug cartels are going, boy, they're going to have a lot of time on their hands. Well, our business is going to increase. So here we go. We got the borders closed, but everybody that's doing illegal activities can get through. But like I said, they came to me because they said, boy, he's not following the government line. He sounds like a criminal. So I said, okay, what do you got? You run an ad, Cartel Tijuana Airlines, my favorite company. Yeah, they're flying Americans to Europe that can't get there free of charge as a way of thanking you for your business all these years. All you got to do is come through their tunnel. They'll show you where, and you'll get here, take the flight, come back, go through the tunnel. You don't need a passport, or they'll give you a new one. They've got many. And life goes on. So it's a great Princess America Cruise Ships was a good one. They're not advertising right now, but I hope they, cough up. They advertised 3 times on my show, and it was about their virtual cruises. I thought that interesting. You don't have to go on a ship and get seasickness, they said. All you have to do is come to our hazmat office. It's sealed proof. You'll never get anything. They put a little, headpiece on. You're in the Caribbean for an hour. Reasonable rates. Then, this social distancing thing, all of these restrictions they're putting on me are driving me crazy. Remember when you were a kid and your mom used to say, Gregory, wash your hands before you eat? Gregory, do this, and I go, Mom, come on, I did. You did it, And so basically what happened was you'd fake it sometimes, and you go, I'm not doing any of these things these adults tell me. Really, I can't stand doing what they tell me. I'm doing the opposite. So now we got Brig Brother telling us, they actually putting ads, how to wash your hands, how to blow your nose, how to do get dressed in the morning, what to eat. They're telling you how you should go to the grocery store now and shop. I mean, where's this going? My God, who wants to live in a world like this? Are they trying to wear you out to a point you go, you know what? Kill me. I can't stand this. And, I think the ratings are going to start backfiring on these people because I don't know if you're like me. I have a tolerance level of them very low, both Fox and CNN. But I have to listen just so that I can make fun of them when I come to my show. But now I have so much ammunition with this COVID virus thing, I don't need them. So I turn it on and I listen for 2 seconds. And I hear something, and it just disturbs me, so I turn it off. So their ratings are going to plummet after a while because people are going to get sick and tired of these lies. Sick and tired of these people telling you what to do. They told me just the other day, it's coming back in the fall. Well, good for you. I don't want to listen to you anymore. So then I started thinking, what was my life like? What was I doing before the COVID virus? So I thought I'd tell you. I'm a foreclosure consultant. I help people who can't afford really $25,000 an hour lawyers. And I give them, some clues on what they can do when they're losing their home, And it's not legal advice. It's just friendly talking with a neighbor who's getting screwed by a bank, And what's going on now is banks are being really nice. They're going, well, listen, you don't have to pay us for a few months, and then we're going to just put it on the back of your loan, and then you got to start paying. But pretty soon, if people aren't paying, they're going to get used to not paying. And I've got some inside information that many foreclosure companies now, mortgage companies, aren't getting their monthly payments. But this is going to snowball, and a lot of people are going to lose their homes because they're going to find it's going to be really hard to go back to their former employment. Hopefully they can. But I see a mountain of problems coming for people that have gotten locked into these loans, 30-year loans. Banks, listen, their procedures of foreclosing now are draconian. They don't talk to you. They use a company called MERS that registers everything. They don't even put things in the county records anymore. So you got a problem, and it's going to escalate. Now, the other thing I do is I work with a nonprofit company, and I do research for habeas corpus filings for prisoners and all these new petitions that you can file in California to help people who have been put in jail too long. But you know what's happening? They're going, we don't want to come out. We're okay here. It looks like it's worse out there. So, you're getting people now, we'll stay in prison. What the hell? And then the prisoner, the wardens are going, we got to let them out because it's too dangerous. And can you imagine what's going on there? You think the guards are going to want to be around this? The warden's even going, I've got to work from, my home. Okay, warden. And the prisoners are going, they even left the cells open, but I don't want to go out there. So it's a crazy world we live in. But anyway, so some of the things that I really think about at night before I go to bed, I said, how are people going to look at this 100 years from now? They're going to go, did you see what happened to America? These people were so frightened to go outside because they had a runny nose that a country like Fiji and Tanzania banded together with their 100-man army, and they overthrew this great superpower because everybody was afraid to go out. Yeah, I think about those things. Brave Americans fought World War II, fought the Nazis, fought everybody, and now we're afraid to go outside because of a flu. It doesn't sound right to me. And then they say, well, if you're old, stay home. What about, they're too frightened maybe. Look, old people die. We're all going to meet our maker. But the thing is, they're saying now that all these old people are dying. Well, they die anyway. And pretty soon, why, again, I harp on this. If their numbers are right, why is it only poor people that are old dying now that you don't even know? Why hasn't any rich guy, why hasn't anybody from the Rolling Stones, they're still out partying and doing their routine. They're 80 years old, but none of them are dying. None of the rock stars that are all, we got a whole group of old rock stars out there. I haven't heard of one dying from the COVID virus. I haven't heard one politician dying from the COVID virus. There was a death of a senator, I think his name was Coburn. He died recently, and they said of complications from pancreatic cancer or something. I may have that wrong, but they were explicit on saying he didn't die from the COVID virus. He was 72 years old. Now, that's normal. We hear that all the time. I want to wait till the Academy Awards come on, and the reason I'm talking about this is I'm so tired. If they can just float these numbers out without anybody questioning it, float these tests out, float this, disease out, can't we at least look at this? How about the Academy Awards next year? Do you know at the Academy Awards every year they list all the people that died that year? There's a string of them. How many this year are going to be from the COVID virus coming up next year? Okay? I haven't heard of one famous movie star getting, outside of Tom Hanks, he didn't die. Nobody died. And there's a lot of old actors. How come? How come nobody famous? It doesn't ring true, because this is only meant to kill poor people, to get rid of you. Like Henry Kissinger said, you're a useless eater. We're tired of, you. And people just follow right along, believing in their superpower government. A country that has been good at three things. War, been at war all but 20 years of our existence. 2, we're good at propaganda. America is great at selling its propaganda. America the beautiful. America the home of the free and the brave. America, where your vote counts. America, you can become president even if you're born in the bayou and you have no money. America the great, where your politicians really care for you. Yeah. They've sold this lie for how many years? And now you're getting a payback. This is what they're really about if you really start questioning this whole thing. If they would have just never did anything, we'd be just fine. And you get the same amount of risk of catching the flu, the same amount of risk of dying or getting cancer. And to be honest with you, what they've been doing with chemtrails since the 1990s is far worse than this. And they've admitted that they spray these metals and everything in the atmosphere. What they've been doing with letting Roundup they're still using Roundup to kill weeds causing cancer. Germany years ago banned it, and other countries in Europe. I mean, they're still doing things to kill you, all the crazy stuff in their food. Now, if I say vaccinations, like, he's an anti-vaxxer. Well, look at really question what they're putting into your system. And far more deaths there. But anyway, I have to do this. And like I said, it's very difficult. One last thing. I've got problems even with my pets. Yep. The other day, I took my new dog, Santiago, who I nursed from health. He was a stray that came to my door dying when he was 6 weeks old. After Max, my Malamute, died of cancer, or the bone cancer. So I went and said, let's go out. And we walked out. And usually he's very happy to see people. But there was a guy walking on the street, and he kept his distance. He would not get 6 feet near him. I said, Santiago, what's the matter? You love people. He looked at me, with his eyes, and we communicate in a very strange way. He said, I'm not getting near any of these. I'm not catching this thing. So they got him too. And I said, Santiago, don't worry. You're safe. So he started to listen to me. And he came up, and we walked, and we walked. So really, these dogs are catching on. They're trying to get to our pets. Pretty soon our pets aren't going to want to get near us anymore. What are we going to do? But never fear. Right here you get this truth. So if you have a pet that has a problem, come to me. I can really do I do psychology for pets free. Well, you know what I do charge? Bring your pet. I sit with them for, 30 minutes. We go over their problems, and it's just as good as if you go to a psychiatrist. That's about the same cure rate that I have with dogs that these psychiatrists do with people. You ever go to one? Oh, no, don't admit it. But, I've just heard about things. They begin to get into everything. Who died? When did they get into so many things that when you leave, you're more miserable. Not that I've been to one. But anyway, mischievous ways to have fun with COVID-19. Okay, sitting at home. What are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take the garbage out and risk life, limb, and death. And don't run into a neighbor. If so, run. I've got to think of ways from tomorrow's show. I got some other things I want to tell you. But anyway, I was really worried about baseball. I got to get back to watch. Yes, I got to watch the Cubs win the World Series again. They're winning every day. This is crazy. They haven't won in 100 years, but the last 10 days they've won the World Series. I watched it. All right, can I do this in 5 minutes? One serious thing. Mike Pompeo. Okay, and this was a video I got, and I hadn't had time to get to it. Made a speech on March 20th from the White House with Trump beside him. A Google search revealed, and this story is taken from a website called Euro Project Reloaded, making it perfectly clear that Pompeo was accusing China of some sort of cover-up in relation to the virus and taking only that angle. For example, Pompeo's live exercise mention made during the speech was picked up as a separate story by Shepard Ambulis of Intel Hub on March 21st and reissued, wait a second here, reissued by Global Research. Here, they did a version of this story, and basically Trump immediately interjects after Pompeo said this is a live exercise, the comment, "You should have let us know." Freeman offers his interpretation, in Global Research, I guess, that no doubt plausible that Trump was genuine in his statement. He didn't know about the virus situation being a live exercise. I don't know about that. And that the deep state swamp is certainly running the show. Or did Pompeo really reveal something Trump was indeed, I like this better, in on, and that he was hoping his remark would be picked up in order to distance himself? Sounds to me more plausible. Distance himself from the statement, and that the deep swamp was certainly running the show. Now, notice in the videos, when you watch them, Trump starts the comment when Pompeo takes a natural pause in order to be heard. Trump wanted to be heard. Okay? Now, Pompeo admitted on CNN that we're in a live exercise when referring to COVID-19 during a press conference. This is yet more evidence, folks, that the entire coronavirus crisis has been scripted, planned, and orchestrated. The language that Pompeo used, live exercise, is eerily reminiscent of language used in false flag operations, when the exercise or drill went live. Right? Okay. Now, they play the... Go get the clip. Pompeo slips up and calls the pandemic a live exercise. Just Google that. Now, there are already various clues this whole pandemic is really a fake pandemic, like I've mentioned. That's a possibility. Why doesn't anybody question it? We're not saying it is a fact, but how come it's not even on the table? The same reason the Vatican Jesuit New World Order isn't on the table, and the same reason 9/11 and the real inside job isn't on the table. Now, there's a 2010 Rockefeller Foundation paper which talked about it, There's an Illuminati insider who revealed secret plans to release a bioweapon on Chinese by saying that China will catch a cold. There's Bill Gates, Big Pharma, CDC Event 201 simulation that took place, and we've talked about that prior to this. There's possible Chinese government foreknowledge. There's simple fact that this pandemic is allowing the social engineers to simultaneously and rapidly roll out almost every conceivable New World Order agenda: censorship, surveillance, quarantine, martial law, cashless agenda, governmental emergency powers, the 5G rollout, social isolation as the new normal, mandatory vaccinations, and the human microchipping agenda, etc. It all adds up, doesn't it? All adds up to one important fact. Why aren't more people questioning this? They're taking the census on this. They want to know what percentage of people are... Well, they know there's going to be a small percentage of people like me, and they don't care. But they say, man, look at these people. They'll do whatever we want. Tomorrow, folks, stay tuned while I give you an important message on how to properly tie your shoes. Okay? That will be coming from the government office of shoe tying. You know, we've got some other great ones for you tomorrow as far as how to zip up your pants. That's a good one. Coming from an extremely intelligent government tailor. Okay? Back tomorrow on the Investigatore Giornale, and my hope is you at least question this. We're not saying it's true, but don't listen to them every minute of the day tell you what to do. Back tomorrow on the Investigatore Giornale.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.